This episode of predictocast is sponsored in part by our wonderful Patreon supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon and get hours of bonus content every month, head over to patreon.com/predictocast. Special thanks to Alexandra,
Andrew Walker,
Daniel Ifland,
Darren Husted,
Felipe Sobrero,
Gigi Launchbog,
Jessica Lynch-Jonley,
Justin Talbot,
the Kill by Kill podcast,
Kip Reed,
the Let's Get Weirding podcast,
Roddy Gardaki podcast,
and Tyler Petty. Thank you so much for your generous support. We couldn't do it without you.
Could we not?
No, we definitely couldn't.
Oh, thank you then.
And now on to the show. Hello and welcome to a mini episode of predictocast. I'm Josh, and with me as always is Skinner.
I'm Skinner. With me as always is Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I kind of stumbled at the beginning there because I was about to say, welcome to the last mini episode of predictocast, but that's not entirely true. I don't want anyone to have a heart attack out there.
I mean, it's going to be the last of us in a way. I think we're still going to do minis in a certain form, but you know, as far as like what we do now, I think it's going to at least transmogrify.
Sure. So that might all sound very scary to you if you're a longtime listener, but we insist that you don't freak out just yet. So last week on the show, we covered our 100th film. And very good episodes, by the way. Go back and listen. The internet is on fire with the talk of Crush the Cat, or it would be if our show were bigger.
You know, I think if our show was bigger and people, you know, if somehow we could go back to the 90s and really pitch Crush the cat that drinks orange soda out of oranges that are in the place of women's breasts. I think people would be very excited about that, and we would make a lot of money on t-shirt sales.
Yeah, that would be sold exclusively on a boardwalk somewhere.
Exclusively on Boardwalk, and we would get absolutely no residuals from it because someone has a silk screening process. But
yeah, but so you know, I know we're saying a lot of crazy things here, but we finished our episodes last week, our 100th film, and we kind of are thinking about just the future of the show and the future of just us doing podcasts and all that stuff. And we're gonna do some changes to the show. We don't know exactly what they are yet, and we don't know exactly what sort of form the show will take. But we've changed the format slightly before, so we're just gonna do some experimentation. We're gonna try some things out. We've been doing the show for 4 years. And, you know, it gets a little stagnant. So sometimes you got to shake things up a little bit. And that's what we're going to try to do in 2021. So in January, we'll take our kind of customary break like we have done in the previous years. You'll still see things falling into the feed. So please stay subscribed. We would encourage you to stay subscribed. And then at some point in the new year, we don't know exactly when yet, we'll come back with some form of the show, but there will still be things dropping into the feed sporadically. So please stay subscribed. They just won't be traditional episodes of predictocast because we want to try some new things. We want to stretch a little bit and you know, doing the same basic format for 4 years is fun, but also can kind of get you into a rut a little bit. So we want to take a little break. We want to regroup. We want to kind of rethink what we want the show to be, and then, you know, see where 2021 takes us, basically.
Yeah, we've done a lot of content, a lot of content. And we, if you follow what we do in general, we like to do on our own a little bit of experimental stuff. We like to enjoy messing with the format of podcasts, but we also enjoy doing the show. And we made a lot of these shows, and we have changed the format of the show a couple times. It used to be one episode, then we made it to two, and we did the spacing and everything differently, and what we do per episode. And we've fallen into pretty much what we've done now for a while. And I think it's worked better than what we did in the past, but it is a lot of podcasts per movie as far as what we're doing. And I really am proud of what we do, and I really appreciate everyone who's listened to us and what we're doing. And I'm not saying this as we're going anywhere, because we're not, and we're not getting rid of the feed, because it'd be stupid to get rid of any fan base we've actually built up, even though we kind of have we have a hard limit at the top. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say we are a popular podcast, but we do okay. And
we could be, though.
We could be. Crush the Cat. It's fucking amazing. But like
that we developed on our 100th
episode.
movie.
Yeah, 100th movie. But like, you know, I think we've had some great guests on here. We had Dan McCoy from a popular podcast. We've had our people from Kill by Kill, and Phil from the Bear Country, Bo and Megan from Let's Get Weirding, and all kinds of stuff. Like, I feel very good about what we've done, but it has to be continually fun for us, because it's a lot of work editing. It's a lot of recording. We both have demanding jobs, and that isn't to say we're burnt out and we're going to stop it. We just want to rethink what we're doing to make it more fun for the people listening. And the better engaged we are, I find, the better the episodes. And I think we haven't quite figured out what we're doing next, but I think we have a better idea of what really gets us going, what really inspires us to have fun with an episode that translates into a fun listen. And we're working on really kind of narrowing our cast to that, to have a more focused energy and happy energy with it going forward, in a way that doesn't ever seem like we're doing it to fill slots. We're doing it because we want to do it, and we're doing it because this is what works best for the show. And I think it's important for shows to sit back and kind of figure that out. And we always try to be kind of transparent when we're doing that.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. You did bring up something really interesting, because I mentioned 2021, but you might be wondering, well, what's happening the rest of the year? This is the middle of November. Are you just going to leave us hanging for another couple of months here?
We're at the fucking end of history right now, man. Like, there is no upcoming months.
But in the event that there is some sort of month called December that's coming, there's going to be some fun stuff there. I mentioned at the end of our episode last week on Distant Cousins that what we would be doing in the future is kind of looking backwards. And that's what we're going to do in the month of December. So next week, Thanksgiving week, or for American Thanksgiving, sorry, Skinner. I know you've already had Canadian Thanksgiving.
It was fantastic, by the way. Thank you for not mentioning it.
Sorry. So we're going to take the week of Thanksgiving off. We will be dropping a Patreon episode into the regular feed here. So if you're not a Patreon supporter, you'll get to hear something there. And then on the 30th of November, we're going to come back for pretty much the entire month of December. We're going to be looking back at some of the films that really resonated with us for a variety of reasons. And if you've listened to the show for long enough, then you probably know what some of those might be. I don't want to say just yet, because I want to keep it a little bit of a surprise. And also some things might change, so I don't want to get your hopes up and then something happens and we're not able to do it. But there are a few films that we've constantly re-referenced, and some that we haven't, but I think that will make for a fun discussion. And it won't be just us. We're planning to bring on some past guests to talk about those films with us. And we picked particular people to go with particular films because of a connection that they have with the film, or a connection that they have with us on the show and the film. And we think that it'll make for a very fun discussion. So we're not going to do sort of plot point breakdowns like we have done in the past. we're going to kind of just generally talk about the film, moments that we liked, moments that they liked, especially if they've never seen it before, or if they haven't seen it in a while. Like, we'll just go through fun, kind of have just a fun conversation at the end of the year and maybe at the end of the world. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of excited to kind of revisit some of these and see if they hold up, see if they stand up to the memory that I have of them from when we first talked about them. I might even go back and listen to our episode before we do the new ones, just to kind of refresh what we said, so I hopefully don't repeat myself. Or maybe so I do repeat myself. Who knows?
You mean you put the words in your head again, and then you'll just automatically by reflex say them.
Yeah.
I mean, we could also just repost the link to those episodes.
We will do that as well. We will for sure do that.
We're going to be totally really professional about this. But
yeah, we won't forget and go, oh man, we should have done that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, come on. But this isn't reruns. This is brand new episodes, brand new stuff. If you haven't listened to the episodes before, I'm sure it'll be fun still. The really fun movies we picked out, really fun guests. One of my favorite things that we do is when we have guests on who haven't in a while seen a movie or haven't seen a movie, and just enjoying their reaction to it. I enjoy talking to them about because I know how Josh and I react to things now. And there is joy in that, and like being able to come on the show and say like, I bet you love this, and him going, yes, I love this, and like, that's great. Because comfort is in just familiarity, but like I really enjoy having somebody on and saying like, wasn't this like Josh and I thought this? What did you think? And like having that conversation about really some of the craziest movies we've watched, and I'm excited for that. I think it'll be a really fun thing to do. Yeah, it does seem like we're ending the show when we do that. We're not quite doing that. We're not going to throw away our IP. It's not happening.
We're ending this, like we're kind of wrapping up this sort of phase of the show, I would say. This is the end of a season. Like we always customarily end the seasons around December. We always do something very special and different in December anyway. So this is not anything unusual for us.
We have never done a December where we actually did regular shows.
Yes, pretty much that is true. We've always kind of messed around with the format when it comes to December, and so we're doing it again this year because it's the holiday season.
It also gets darker earlier, so we get tired because we record in the evenings generally.
That is also very true. But we just we want to do something fun here to close out season 4 of predictocast, and also sort of this chapter of the show. And again, we don't know what the show will be, but it will come back. And maybe it will be successful. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll default back to the original format when we realize that the new format isn't working. But we want to have that ability to kind of experiment and to let us sort of find a new path, maybe.
I think really when you're a show that has a certain level of popularity, and you do have a kind of a hard cap, we're just until Josh breaks through and becomes a Hollywood star. There's troubles there, but like there's you can be very happy and sit on what you have, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. Or you can try something a little different. And we're not going to do anything radically different, but like this is not to be Butterfly Kisses #2. We're not to come back and be in characters or anything. You should go listen to Butterfly Kisses, the line by line breakdown of Crazy Town's hit song, Butterfly. Great podcast. Good binge stuff to really numb your mind. But
yes,
that's we do enjoy that kind of thing. We a lot of this is to also change the format to free ourselves up to do more things outside the purview of what we're doing right now. This takes up a lot of time. Not a lot of shows do 2 full episodes per movie. That is a lot of time and editing. And I think it's fun what we do, and we're still going to do some version of it, but I think to really find the maximum of what you can do, you have to be okay taking a risk, trying something a little different. And I think that's important to us, to keep us fresh, to keep the show fresh, Because any podcast, you have a loop where you get familiar with it, you enjoy the comfort of it, you kind of fall off it because it's comfort food, but also you can start to miss an episode or two because you know it's gonna be to a degree, and that's fine. We've done a lot of episodes, but I wanted to try if we can try something new and kind of hone it a little bit better. Maybe there's a better show in what we do, in what we're good at, that we haven't quite hit on yet. I'm not saying if you love our show I'm saying our show is shitty. I'm just saying maybe
it might be.
It might be.
Know.
I'm sure lots of people think it is, and they listened once and bounced off. That's fine. Lots of people have. You can't please everybody, and we probably don't come close to that. But just to find something exciting and different, and really hone what we're good at and what's fun about this show into a really nice, fine, concentrated point, I think is what we're kind of looking to do.
Yeah, the fifth year of predictocast will be where we really start to shine.
I think the second we did, and it's not going to draw a huge audience, but I feel really good that we did an entire fucking month on Rue McClanahan's TV movie series. And then we follow that up by doing every single Darkman movie. And I think that really opened my eyes. Like, that's really fun for us.
Yes,
for sure. How to make that easier and more fun is something I'm excited to do.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. There was a run there because we did Rue McClanahan March, and then we had Eric Roberts month in April, and then we went into Darkman May, and it was just like, yeah, those were like insane 3 months back to back to back that just had a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, and just being able to really get into a groove of like, this is one thing. And like having an excuse to pay Eric Roberts to say shit. Wow, that was really fun. I know anyone could do it, but it was really enjoyable. So,
and if we do a sequel Eric Roberts month, I mean, almost assuredly we'll do it again.
Like, absolutely. And
we'll get another cameo.
And don't worry if you're worried like, oh, what's this new format going to be like? The new format will likely still have the ability to have an entire month dedicated to Eric Roberts.
Thank goodness.
Like, nothing we're going to do is going to be so far from what we're doing that isn't a possibility.
Well, I think that we have said all that we can say about what the future of the show is, at least what we know at this point, which is admittedly not much, but I'm pumped for the month of December. We're going to have a lot of fun with some really great guests and talking about some really fun movies. I know for a fact that longtime listener Felipe Sobrero will probably be very happy with a lot of the films that we've picked because I think they're movies that he suggested that we watch.
He has suggested the greatest movies that we've done in a lot of ways. You know what? Here's the thing, though. Like, I want to say is from bottom of my heart, like, not just Felipe, like, the suggestions we have gotten from the audience have been over the years have been absolutely some of the funnest stuff we've done. Just the audience knowing what works good for the show even more than we do sometimes, and finding movies like it's easy to find obscure movies that we don't know about that look crazy, but people finding movies that nobody knows about or not enough that people know about, or like even sometimes like slightly ahead of everybody else doing them, and just knowing that they are just great for this podcast. It's everything I wanted the show to be, and I got that experience over and over again with our people listening, and I appreciate that so much because it literally has brought joy to my life. I have an enamel pin now in my house. I have nothing to pin it to, this pin, but I have it, and I'm trying to think, do I need to buy a cork board for my office to stick the pin into?
I mean, almost certainly, yes.
Good. I will work on that in the new year.
Perfect. So yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. Please, again, the show's not going anywhere. Stay subscribed. We have lots of fun stuff coming.
This seems like we're giving ourselves our own eulogy. The show is absolutely continuing going.
Yes, it's continuing to go. But next week again will be American Thanksgiving week, so we will have a feed drop from Patreon. So
we're very tired by the world right now.
Absolutely. And we are recording this even before some things have finally been decided. So who knows where things will go? We may sound very excited. Disappointed and miserable on the December episodes.
I'm so excited, X person. After X amount of days, finally X amount, just like insert.
Yeah. That'll be wrapped up eventually, but yeah. So in December, starting November 30th, will just be a ton of great episodes with a ton of great guests on a ton of great films, and then we'll move into 2021 and we'll see what 2021 looks like. We don't know. But we do know the show will exist in some form or fashion, and hopefully it'll be good.
Hopefully. I mean, we've always hoped it would be good, but like it's not always. But I appreciate you guys' patience with it. So thanks for your continual optimism in us.
Yes. Thank you very much for listening. If you've been with us from the beginning, if you've joined us even in the last couple of weeks, thank you very much for taking the time and the energy to listen to our show. We hope that you're liking it. We hope that you enjoyed what you've heard. There's 4 years of content in the back catalog available for you. Please go and check it out. We've gotten better over time. So if you start at the beginning,
don't listen to that fucking first Cousins episode like everyone goddamn does. And then I'm sure 2/3 of them never listen to another episode again.
It feels weird that this is a movie podcast and yet people go back to the first episode like it's important, like they have the show formed from 4 years ago. It's like, no, just listen to the newest one.
Yeah, like I talk about like we've been doing the same thing for a long time. Like literally, the show as currently done is about 2 years old, and even that we've really changed how we come at it and how we talk and the energy we bring, and we don't have segments anymore. But man, like it's not a book from A to Z. Like if you don't listen to Cousins, it doesn't mean you're not going to get the Distance Cousins episode. You know what I mean?
Well, that would probably help actually.
Well, just look at the back catalog. Oh, they did Cousins first. That's why they're doing. That's the whole joke.
Yeah. But yeah. So until November 30th, when we're back with a very special series of episodes on some of our favorite films that we've covered in the last 4 years of the show. I've been Josh.
And I've been Skinner.
And we predict you'll join us. And you'll stay subscribed.
Please stay subscribed. I can't stress this enough. We're not going anywhere. Please stay subscribed. We can't lose the listeners because of our stupid decisions.
If you like the show, subscribe, rate, and review us over at Apple Podcasts. We're on Twitter and Instagram at predictocast, and you can find our entire back catalog at predictocast.com. Our theme music is by Kyle Sledge. Find more of his work at soundcloud.com/geistmusic. As always, thanks for listening.